Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your continued support. Please subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. If you're our regular subscriber, thank you very much. Please just like our video. Ladies and gentlemen, where there is smoke, usually there is fire. Our fears have finally been confirmed because yesterday we witnessed the theatrics between President Ruto and his counterpart, the KANU chairman Gideon Moi, and we knew there was going to be a handshake. In fact, I was telling my friend Korir that Jogo imemezwa, and he was telling me hiyo haiwezekani now. Korir, finally it is here. But ladies and gentlemen, some people are saying that Gideon Moi is such a coward that he was not able, he didn't have the courage to explain to his people his decision to work with the president, with the UDA. And I just want us to go straight to what Naisula was saying. I just want to read it very, very fast because I want us to go to the real handshake. Naisula was saying this, and I want to be very fast, that my dear Chairman Honorable Gideon Moi, we have had many conversations in private and I have never addressed you in public, but the matter being discussed is of national importance. The choice to run or not to run for Baringo senatorial seat is purely your personal decision, since you must have done an introspect of whether to or not, despite the many voices you have listened to. Who you also choose to work with in the national politics moving forward is purely in your personal decision. My only concern, and of many who have believed in you and the party, is your choice not to give direction and not to communicate on time of your decisions. And she concludes by saying, we feel not listened to, not heard or felt, especially the felt part. Chairman, address your supporters of your decision. Lead with empathy, carry us along. God bless. And she signs off with NL Naisula Lesuda. Now, Naisula is simply saying that it is obvious, or it was obvious, that Gideon had made a decision to work with the president. And she tells her, it's okay, it's your decision. Because after consultation, maybe with the family members and all that, you make that decision. But then, in politics, you don't, walk alone. There are people who believe in you. That is why there were people yesterday who are demonstrating. Some people are saying that those who are meant to show William Ruto that KANU has got support. But others are saying that there was no proper communication, as Naisula is now saying. But ladies and gentlemen, it started by William Ruto flying to Kabarnet, former President Moi's home, and then he was received by Moi himself, the family, and the KANU national delegates. And that is when we could see some white smoke. This is what happened. Then what followed, and I think they were still buying time, the president visited the mausoleum where the former president was buried. Quite a lot of things happened there. Then the main agenda was how to announce to the delegates that they had agreed to work together. And as William Ruto puts it, it was not a very easy idea. It was not very easy to communicate because Ruto says they were like, where do we break the news? And who is going to break this news? And as he narrates and he puts it, it is like Gideon Moi was somehow, hesitant to reveal this. And Ruto said, wacha mimi niseme. And so they revealed that they are working together. there's a handshake, and KANU joins the broader broad-based government.
Rais ya Jamhuri ya Taifa ya Kenya nyogolojin bigo jodu.
Aya. Watu wa Baringo hoye. KANU hoye. Ndugu zangu wa Kenya, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Aya, tunaweza keti. Basi. Mheshimiwa Senator Gideon Moi, ambaye pia ni mwenyekiti wa chama anzilishi wa taifa letu la Kenya, chama ya KANU. Familia ya baba yetu mzee Moi, wana KANU, wana Baringo na Wakenya wote, wacha nirudie tena niseme hamjambo. Mimi kwanza nataka nimshukuru Mungu kwa sababu ametupatia nafasi, tumefika leo hapa Kabarak, mahali pa mzee baba yetu rais wa pili wa Kenya, mzee Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. Kwanza mimi nataka niseme nimefurahi sana mimi mwenyewe. Unajua, wakati tuliongea na huyu ndugu yangu Gideon, tukapanga maneno ya zamani, tukapanga maneno ya hapo katikati, tukapanga ya maneno ya sasa, tukapanga ingine ya mbele. Lakini sasa baada ya sisi kukubaliana, sasa ikatokea maneno. Sasa hii maneno yote tutakubaliana, nani ataenda kusema hii maneno? Si ndio? Na itaenda kusemwa wapi? Si ndio? So mimi nikamwambia Gideon, mimi ndio nitakuja kusema. Na alafu akaniuliza, unataka tukuje tuseme wapi? Nyinyi mnajua hakuna mtu wako kwa uongozi katika Kenya hii ambaye hajapitia chama ya KANU. Si ndio? Mimi nikiwa moja yao. Si ndio? So tunataka tufaulu tukiwa pamoja. So mimi nimekuja. Si ndio watu wa Baringo? Na nimekuja, mimi ndio tumeongea na my brother Gideon Moi, na tumekubaliana na yeye anisaidie tupange mambo ya taifa letu la Kenya. Maendeleo ya Kenya imechelewa. Kenya imechelewa miaka nyingi. We are not supposed to be a third world country. Na ili tuweze kusukuma mambo hiyo ya maendeleo, mimi nimeomba ya kwamba I need more hands, we need broader goodwill, na ndio sababu tulitengeneza broad-based government ili tuhakikisha kwamba yale ambayo ni ya muhimu kwa Wakenya wote tuweze kusukuma iende mbele. This is not about individuals. This is not about personalities. This is not about parochialism or corners or regions. This is about Kenya. And I want to ask you, as the good people of the founding party of our nation, to accept for us to work together. Tunakubaliana? Mmekubali nifanye kazi na Gideon? Tupeleke mambo mbele. Ya pili, mimi nataka vile vile, mnajua mimi ndio nilikuwa Secretary General ya KANU, na sasa tuko na Secretary General mwingine hapa, Bwana Wainaina. Si namna hiyo? mimi nataka tukubaliane na nyinyi, mkubali ili sasa tuwe na formal engagement kati ya KANU, si ndio? Ili KANU sasa iwe part of the government of Kenya. Si mnajua tuko na serikali ya mapana na marefu, inaitwa broad based. Hanan broad based kwa vile ne? Hiyo ya mapana na marefu. Sasa tupanue hii serikali, KANU ikuwe katikati yake, ndio tupange mambo ya Kenya pamoja. Nyinyi mnasemaje? Iko sawa? Tufanye formal engagement na KANU? Ndio tuwe kwa broad based. Hebu nione kwa mkono wale wanasema basi.
But why do I tend to agree with the Naisula? You know, right now it is okay that Gideon has revealed this. But you see, when he went there, I first of all felt like he does not care about his people. All he wanted was to name his prize, and then is given whatever he's mentioned, maybe with the inclusion of protecting their property, you know, all that. And I also felt that it was a little bit selfish, because when you want to make such a decision, you have to consult. But then I realized consultation is a foreign language in the country. It is in the constitution. It said that before you do something, I don't know, you consult. And I remembered even Raila Odinga told us before he joined the broad-based government that he was consulting, yet there was no consultation. It was a mere formality. This is something that he had decided. And that is when you realize that democracy is not democracy at all, because what should happen is that the leaders should be asking us whether we agree to follow them. But you see, they always don't ask. Once they have made a decision, we will always follow them and tag along with them. So we can't blame Moi, really. No one really asks, his or her people whether, to move in or out. They usually do it, then we are asked. We always just agree with them. And so I thought maybe it's not being a coward. I remember when Raila Odinga shook hands in 2018, I think, with the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru revealed to us that the first time they sat down and they were looking at each other, they asked each other question, Mama Ida anaendeleaje? Na wewe bibi yako? And then that conversation for a while remained constant. There was no one. There were no moving forward. There was no one to break that silence to say tunataka kufanya hivi na hivi. And Raila went with Junet Mohammed. People wondering, where was Orengo? Where were those close allies? Telling me that it's not very easy when you want to work with someone you have sometimes told people is the rotten egg. You've called each other names. And now you want to tell people tunafanya kazi, and they're like, really? Why? What has changed? It is just like Ruto killed many people. That's what ODM supporters said. And when Raila attended the burial of the youths who had been, it was a requiem mask of the youths who had been killed by the regime, it was like they would never work with William Ruto. Now here they are. So it's not always very easy. That's why Gideon Moi, I think, it was not very, very easy. But then they broke the news that they were working together. I've done this video before and I've explained that William Ruto wants to entrench himself as the Rift Valley kingpin. It gives him an impetus and a lot of weight as he approaches 2027, and even as they approach the by-elections, because Ruto really feels the weight of the united opposition. He really feels that. So he wants to ensure that Rift Valley hakuna madoadoa. I said that. And he's also hell-bent in killing the opposition, attacking Raila. In fact, I understand that the gun is now turned to Alfred Keter. They're really looking for him. Kalonzo is on the radar. They're really looking for him. So he wants to ensure that the opposition is killed. He also wants to kill democracy. You see, democracy simply means that we have several choices, but Ruto does not want this. And it is also fear that any little mistake and he's gone completely. So these are some of the things that makes William Ruto want to consolidate his support base. That's why he does not want anybody. He does not want any dissenting views from the Rift Valley. And of course, that happens. Kalonzo would not want any dissenting voices from Ukambani. Gachagua does not want any dissenting voices from Mount Kenya. The only other problem that I've cried out about is, why is it that when Rigathi Gachagua tries to consolidate his people, then he's labeled a traitor, a tribalist, yet all these people are doing the same thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, KANU is now part of the broad-based government. Just speaking with one voice, even if KANU does not have much say, because William Ruto defeated him anyway. But you see, they have to work together. William Ruto has to paint a picture of a very smooth, consolidated Rift Valley, so that hapo unajua backyard, hapo bedroom ataki mchezo, ndio aseme sasa sisi tuko moja na winda huko kwingine. And I think they also held that meeting today to counter Kalonzo Musyoka, because Kalonzo had his NDC, I think, here in Uhuru Park. So they wanted, as the media is focusing on Kalonzo, there's another event that is taking place. But Kenyans have decided, like Keter is saying, you can buy all the leaders as you want, but once Kenyans decide that we are going to work together, they are the ones to say. Yeah, that's why we are urging people to take advantage of the exercise, the voter registration exercise, so that we exercise our constitutional right by ensuring that we have the right leaders in come 2027. The way our leaders are being compromised and both left, right, and center, we need to be very careful. Let us vote in leaders who are very steadfast, those who cannot be swayed despite the carrots that are being dangled around. As it is, the broad base is coming broader. I don't know whether it is only broader when as leaders come in, or wananchi pia wamekubali. I don't know. We only wait to see what happens in the by-elections and by large by 2027. I don't know what to think, but that is it. I don't know whether Gideon is a coward, like he was being told, kwa nini unafanya vitu peke yako.